Bugs, Dr. Ashley Greer here. I just got done with an amazing training in my membership site all about pleasure, and I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about this training because it was so amazing. I just love the ladies in this group. So today we talked about pleasure, and we talked about how we are all just waiting for some white knight to come into our life to give us more pleasure, to give us permission to go out there and claim our pleasure, whether that's wearing our nicest dress, wearing our perfume, enjoying a nice meal out, traveling the world, or having more orgasms. We're always sitting there waiting for other people because so many of us are stuck in the mode of pleasing other people and putting other people's needs first above our own. And when we are operating from, when we're operating from this idea that we have to put other people's pleasure above our own pleasure, guess what happens? We become depleted. We begin to feel as though we don't have enough pleasure. Our life gets boring. Our life gets frustrating. Our life gets really, really dull. Our life gets kind of empty, right? Because we fill ourselves and we fill our life and we fill our cup with pleasure. Again, whether that pleasure is going to enjoy, the smell of the flowers in your yard, right? It's springtime in North America, and in Europe, and so there's probably flowers blooming everywhere, and enjoying that smell, or giving yourself more permission to have more orgasms, because the more orgasms you give yourself, the more orgasms you're capable of having, or giving yourself permission to wear that dress and to wear that perfume and to put on that lipstick, not because you're going to go see anybody else, not because you have to look good for other people, but because you want to. Opening the nice wine, drinking the champagne, eating the good chocolate, because you want to, because it feels really good, instead of waiting for other people to come along and say, oh, finally I can enjoy this thing because there's somebody who's here now that makes my pleasure valid. That's not the way pleasure works. We need to be able to, and I've talked about this before, we need to be able to fill our own cup, to fulfill our own needs, and we actually have a need for pleasure. We at our core are pleasurable, and we at our core want to experience more pleasure, right? And so when we fulfill our own needs for pleasure, we're no longer waiting there for somebody else to come in and rescue us. We're no longer waiting there and depriving ourselves from pleasure because we feel as though we don't deserve it, we're not worthy of it, we're not, we don't love ourselves enough to give ourselves pleasure. And instead, we are just filling ourselves with the thing that we need. And what this means is that when the other person comes along, when we meet that great, partner, we actually feel more worthy of what they want to give us because we've been giving it to ourselves all along. So the more pleasure you give yourselves, the more pleasure you're going to experience, not just from yourself, but from your relationships, from your business, from your money, from your life. You're going to travel more. You're going to, do the things you've always wanted to do because you're going to stop waiting for the pleasure to start once you lose 10 pounds, then I can finally go to the beach. Screw it, go to the beach now. Once I finally make more money, then I can finally be happy and I can dance and I can celebrate. Celebrate now. What are you waiting for? Your life is now. And if you are constantly postponing pleasure and feeling good in your life until you've earned it, you're never going to allow yourself to experience it. And I know a lot of this stuff comes from that toxic background and that codependency that says, I can't have pleasure if something is wrong in my life, if somebody else is suffering. Bullshit, because somebody else is always suffering in the world. I can't have pleasure because I don't feel I deserve it from the past. Bullshit. I'm going to say that as well. The biggest thing you can do for yourself when it comes to pleasure and building up your worthiness muscle when it comes to experiencing more pleasure is giving it to yourself, building it through action, even if it's small actions, even if it's today, instead of just drinking water all day, I'm going to bring some strawberries to work and I'm going to drink strawberry water. That's pleasure. It doesn't have to always be huge things. It can be small things. The more we practice that muscle of giving to ourselves, the more we're able to receive from other people. The more we practice that muscle of getting to enjoy our lives, the more we're able to enjoy our lives, right? There's not a limited stream of joy and passion and ecstasy and orgasms and strawberries and, flowers and stuff. We get to have them all the time. We get to have the enjoyment of every moment, every day, if we're willing to allow ourselves to experience it. And we stop withholding it from ourselves because we think we have to earn it first. So I want to encourage you today to really find a way to bring pleasure into your life today. Whether that's something big and fabulous, like taking yourself out to dinner, or that's, having an orgasm, go have an orgasm, girl. Or if it's about going and putting on some nice smelly lotion or a spray of perfume when you get home from work, just because you love the smell of your perfume and you don't get to wear it a lot because you haven't been going on a lot of dates. Wear it for yourself. I often put on lipstick or perfume just because I like it for myself and it feels good. And guess what? When I feel good, the people who I interact with in my business feel good. They're attracted to that. The people who I interact with on dates are attracted to that. The people who I interact with just on the street are attracted to that. Because when you feel good, your energy's off the charts and you are like a magnet. You are attracting beautiful things to yourself, not because you deserve it, but just because everybody likes to be around somebody who's living their best life, who's allowing themselves joy, and who's willing to share it with other people. All right, until next time, I'm Dr. Ashley Greer, and the membership I was talking about at the beginning of the recording that I just did this hour-long training about pleasure in, we talked in depth about orgasm and being able to have more orgasms, because that's how I roll. I'm very honest with my folks, is the Abundance Revolution. I'm gonna post a link in the comments so that you can check it out. All right, until next time, mwah, love you, bye.